In this video, I will share with you one of the simplest strategies used by our managers. This is a basic strategy that helps beginners understand the market better and even earn well from it. We will use just one indicator and special settings for both the chart and the indicator itself. And let me show you everything now. For example, on the currency pair, Euro, Japanese yen, we have a crossover and I open a trade for a decrease from this area. So the logic here is actually very simple. If we see that the green line is on top, then we open a trade for an increase. At the moment these lines cross. If the red line is on top, then we open a trade for a decrease. Ideally, of course, I should have opened in this area, but as you can see, I didn't manage to open from there, so we work with what we have. But the entry point is also not bad. Next, I will show you all the entry points, situations that should be skipped, and situations where you should enter. I will also share all the settings of this indicator and the platform settings. An excellent first trade brings me a good profit. Let's open the next trade for $1,500, but first let's look at the settings and how to add this indicator. We click on the indicators tab, and here we need to add the vortex indicator. We add it to the chart and then it needs to be configured. From a period of 14, we need to go down to a period of 10. These are all the settings we need for the vortex indicator. It will be configured. And then we need to set the correct candles, specifically Japanese candles, and 15 seconds, so that the vortex works confidently. And the trade time needs to be set to 1 minute. Our indicator is set up, the chart is also fully configured, and we can continue working. Let's move on to practice. We have a crossover occurring on the EUR-CHF currency pair. Here we can observe that a crossover is happening, the red line is on top, and accordingly from this area I open a 1 minute trade for a decrease. Here we could observe several examples where we could have successfully entered a trade. For example, here is a trade for an increase, and here a trade could have been for a decrease. But considering that we managed to enter somewhere around here, as you can see, there are many such entry points where we can profit. By the way, we should generally skip such a crossover, but we'll talk about that a bit later. These are incorrect entry points. That won't allow us to profit. A great trade brings me profit. Excellent, let's move on to the next trade. But before we move on to the next trade, I want to remind you that we have a Telegram channel where we constantly share working strategies and indicator settings, as well as the latest news that we profit from as a community. So if you want to get the freshest and best strategies, then subscribe to our Telegram channel. I will leave the link to it in the description and in the pinned comment. Also, through this Telegram channel, you can contact the support account and request personal mentorship. We have 11 extremely skilled and dedicated managers who will help you realize your potential. For this, you need to send the phrase, "I want to get a personal manager," to the support account, and very soon the team will get in touch with you and personally assign you an available manager who can help and guide you efficiently. Well, let's move on. Crossings are happening on the euro dollar and I am opening my buy trade. Yes, right now this situation doesn't look very serious and it's better to skip such situations, but we will talk about this later. I was more interested in this arc right now. When our lines are far from each other and intersect at the moment, they provide a very good movement, either upward or downward. But when the lines are intertwined into one common dashed line, that's exactly a bad situation that is better to skip. But here I was still interested in this particular movement. Let's have this trade close now. It will most likely close in profit since it's already plus 37 points, and we'll look at situations you should skip. There are actually quite a lot of such situations and you always need to be attentive. An excellent movement of a whole 70 points. As you can see, this indicator provides very confident entry points just on the simple crossing of lines, and this trade gives me a good profit. Well, let's now analyze which situations you should skip. That is, as we have understood, if you see a situation where both the red line and the green line are far apart from each other, then the points of intersection will be very successful and will give you a good movement. We can see this in the example. Let's analyze this segment to see where we had good entry points. Here's a good entry point for an upward move on which I made a profit. Here was an entry point. for a downward move. We probably skipped this section, and here we would have opened a sell trade and also made a profit. Here we would have opened a buy trade and made a profit. And here we would have opened a sell trade and also made a profit. Literally a very small movement, but nevertheless a very good one. And as you can see, we have a total of 5 confident entry points. But there are situations when the prices are very close to each other. And precisely at such moments, it's better to skip these situations. That is, if you see that the price gives a very sharp impulse, then yes, we enter the trade. But if you see that it's such an insignificant crossing, then we skip such situations. In other words, the further apart the lines are, the more confident the entry point will be. Please remember this. If we are at the very extreme boundaries, then we are about to experience a very impulsive movement. I hope this is clear. If not, then please contact our support account. The team there will explain it to you in more detail. And what situations should be used. In fact, if we look at the market, sometimes there are no entry points at all. Here is an example of when you should skip this movement, when the price is completely stuck in one such movement. If there is no entry point, then just go through all the currency pairs. On the OTC market, this strategy works just as confidently. So if you don't see where our points intersect, you can perhaps simply try all this on the OTC market. We just recently had a significant crossover event on the British pound Swiss franc on the indicator, and we recorded it on video. Let's see how this situation plays out now. So at the moment we had a crossover here from below. As soon as I opened the trade, this crossover disappeared. A very interesting moment. Yes, and it seems like I got caught in a market trap. The market showed its intention to reverse. I entered this reversal because the indicator was showing it at the moment. I think everyone saw it clearly on the video, but at some point it didn't work out. Therefore, in the next trade, I will cover this loss and find a more confident situation. On the Euro-Canadian dollar, we observe a good crossover. We see that the red line has started to dominate, so I am opening my sell trade. Here, in principle, there are good impulses across the currency pair, and you can confidently earn with this indicator. Just copy the settings, apply them to your trading, and you can achieve 80% positive trades. This is exactly the kind of statistics our beginners show. And once again, these are beginners, not professional traders. Professional traders, even with such a simple indicator, will have statistics of about 90% positive trades. As in my careless example, I ignored the market and got caught in its trap. Unfortunately, this also happens. But all of this is offset by literally one trade. And this trade brings me excellent profit, covering my previous loss. As you can see, this strategy works. Yes, today I showed a video without a trading bot. Be sure to write in the comments how you like this format and whether it's worth continuing. Maybe share with you the strategies that our mentors share with our students. And if I see your activity, I am ready to share these strategies with you on YouTube and also duplicate them in our Telegram channel. Be sure to write in the comments, and you can also write to our managers. They will also see your activity. I will leave all useful links in the description to our Telegram channel, our bot, and also to our support account. Be sure to subscribe, write to us with any questions, and start earning with us. That's all from me for today. See you soon.